Well, if you're going to talk about Angel Reese, why don't you call her or talk to her behind the scenes first about her behavior? Which is crazy because the guy is a journalist.
He says it's crazy, but you can't do it to the lowest of the low. You can't tell the lowest of the low in the community anything about themselves, or you hate black women, you hate yourself, are you gay? So why would you expect you can talk about her, someone that actually has reached the level of prominence? Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bolo, and I'm coming to you with another video for educational purposes only. So today we're gonna cover a clip from O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's a guy in the black manosphere, and he's actually covering a clip from Jason Whitlock that was talking about this whole Angel Reese Acho situation. And he's going to explain a problem, but not diagnose it, because he is totally unaware of the cause of this issue. He just sits there and acts like, could you believe it? Well, I could very much believe it because I have an IQ above 5, okay? This is very easy to explain, but for some reason, a lot of people act shocked. But let's get into the clip.
2 months ago, really came down hard on Angel Reese for Angel Reese being disrespectful to the opposing team's coach and basically being unaccountable.
I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Now,
first off, if you have to give that disclaimer, you've already been neutered. Let your nuts hang, dude, because no matter what you say, especially today with Twitter and all these other outlets, there are gonna be people that take umbrage with your statement. So you saying it's sexless and genderless and blah 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 and all that nonsense, people still gonna hate you for it. So just say it with your chest, say it like you mean it. It is what it is.
if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't be the big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin.
100% correct on all fronts. Said nothing wrong there.
Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you, because you were the second best basketball player on the court, and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20. Dog. Showed up. Biggest game, second biggest game of your career.
Stat pattern.
Dog. But
Now, Emmanuel Acho,
Now, what he said is correct.
I mean, how dare he say that about a black female? And again, he said genderless. I'm making this, you know, sexless. This is just a general observation. And they came for the guy.
Obviously, they came for the guy. You got to understand, when you go into a lot of these inner city neighborhoods, you know, Chicago, New York, whatever, you can't tell the woman that has 2, 3, even more baby daddies and kids, that's living off Section 8 and food stamps and WIC and all this other nonsense. You can't even tell her about herself. Understand that. If she has some genetic freak kid that just happens to make some professional sports league, or he's a talented rapper, whatever it is, or singer, we glorify and romanticize their struggle, which almost every time it's a struggle that they put on themselves. We never say she was a bad mother. We never say she was irresponsible. We always say she was doing her best and she's strong. We leave out the fact that she was leaving her kids with her mother, leaving her kids with her grandmother for a couple days so she could go get a little sneaky link off, go get smashed, go party, get high and drunk. We totally act like that wasn't a part of the equation. She tried her best to provide. We're gonna act like the government ain't fitting 95% of the bills. Okay? All the kids' fathers are either dead or in jail. We don't act like she chose those men. Those guys didn't hide their nefarious activities from her. In fact, that was the reason she got with them. The dope boy, the guy shooting people up, robbing, hitting licks. She was attracted to that. And she knew very well there was a good chance that man's gonna get put in jail for an extended period of time, get killed, whatever it is, and she still took that man on and took his seed. But we want to act like none of that happened.
It was so bad he had to come out and address it.
Thank you to everyone who has respectfully reprimanded me and offered.
That it just shows the lack of fortitude. But like I said, if you can't tell those low down dirty women about themselves, how are you gonna tell this young lady who Angel Reese, not the biggest fan of her athletically, I think she stinks at basketball, but she's accomplished her dreams, so salute to her. So imagine where her ego is. You can't tell someone that's done nothing and actually has been a bad influence over the community anything. Why would you think you're able to tell her anything, bro? And then obviously him being a man, but he's been castrated, so he's sitting there thanking people for reprimanding him. That's disgusting.
Brilliant opinions on the Angel Reese conversation. I do not believe there is any one way to think about things, but thank you to the Ryan Clarks, the Essence Atkinses, the Bozema St. John's, the Trellas, the different individuals who is publicly and privately just giving me good wisdom, good feedback.
Pathetic.
Good discernment.
No, bull.
I understand. I think life is all about understanding. And so I just want to applaud those publicly, you watching, and those privately who have respectfully, the operative word there being respectfully, who are
take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And so the argument was, why don't you call Angel Reese? Why don't you talk behind the scene? Now, I know this was a long time ago, but Angel Reese is still making these mistakes today. So basically, Jason Whitlock on his Clips channel released this statement.
Acho, we have this special little bubble that we're gonna put Emmanuel Acho in because, you know, we like Angel Reese or in protection of black women.
That phrase right there, he hits the nail on the head, but protection of black women has actually been the detriment of the black community. Starting off with black women, but that trickles off. Because when we think of protecting them, we're not allowing them to actually get the full ramifications of their decisions. When they pick a bad man, we don't say, all right, you got to live with this. We say, no, here's money for an apartment. Oh, you have more kids? Well, here's a bigger apartment. Here's more food for money for food. Oh, we're not going to tell you about, you know, all the mistakes you've made. We're going to protect you. When all that does is spread the virus. Because I tell you right now, if I see something bad happen to somebody, and I see that there's not going to be any, if I see like real consequences, I'm going to be far less likely to participate in that action. The problem though is that these women get to do whatever. They run amok, they act fools, they live without any kind of second thought about what bad things could happen to me. They just do it. And then other women see nothing happening bad to them and they go, wow, okay, so I can have my cake and eat it too. I can have fun, I can act irresponsible, I can basically live a teenage lifestyle until I don't feel like living it anymore, and no one's gonna make me become an adult. So yeah, the protect black women is actually in the detriment of the whole community.
that you must call a black woman that they all decide they like and get their permission or have private conversations, but you cannot talk about them publicly. That's the standard they're trying to set. They want to put a certain group of people that they believe are in need of protection, whether it be Colin Kaepernick or Angel Reese, put a bubble around them and make everybody think, before you say anything about them, you better call and have a private conversation, which is really, don't talk about them. They exist in our little protective bubble, and they can do anything.
And this is important for me because, I mean, the thing about it is, well, if you're gonna talk about Angel Reese, why don't you call her or talk to her behind the scenes first about her behavior? Which is crazy because the guy is a journalist. Journalists.
He says it's crazy, but you can't do it to the lowest of the low. You can't tell the lowest of the low in the community anything about themselves, or you hate black women, you hate yourself, are you gay? So why would you expect you can talk about her, someone that actually has reached a level of prominence?
To do that, they cover things on their opinions. This is what Stephen A. Smith does. You know, when we see Sage Steele doing that, hating on black men all the time, you know, people complain about it, but when
well, you allow them to. You've allowed them to for time immemorial. They can say whatever about whoever, and if anyone dares talk about them, it's an issue. You want to take offense to it. And now all of a sudden, when they're 20-something years old and famous, you want them all of a sudden to be receptive to this? When all they seen growing up in their neighborhood, no one could talk about the black lady. We got to protect black women, blah, blah, blah. And now you want them to all of a sudden be okay with them being singled out and taking accountability when no one else around them has ever had to. It makes no sense.
When Angel Reese is doing it, she's so malicious. What Emmanuel Acho did was not malicious. It was true. It was accountability.
It was.
He was holding her feet to the fire.
It was.
Because she go out there and say whatever she want to say. So now you're looking down bad, and it's time for you to eat an L and then basically be a good sport about it. Can't nobody talk about you. But now you want to vilify the guy because what you're really telling the man is, don't say anything about black women. Who are you to talk about black women? Okay, great. What does that equal to?
My thing is, I don't understand how he could be so unaware of the environment and the climate that has been cultivated by people like him. It blows my mind because there is no sector of society where it's okay to really talk about them and tell them about themselves. Doesn't matter how many kids they have, doesn't matter how many baby fathers they have, they will always point the finger to someone else for their mistakes. And now you want this young lady to all of a sudden say, yeah, I messed up, I did this, I did that. Why would you expect her to be receptive to that when that's something she's never had to really witness?
Angel Reese is talking about, well, you know what? When I get a man, you know, I'm not gonna have my relationship online. No, what's going to happen is, honey, nobody can deal with you because can't nobody tell you nothing.
Duh.
Not no man that you want. What you need to do is get with Keke Palmer, get with Lizzo, and then basically you go out there and go to www.building.com and see how much it costs to build the man that you want and how much you got to pay him every month for him to deal with you. And that is exactly how black men are responding to this kind of stuff. And I'm seeing it.
Well, duh. Okay. I mean, I'm going to say it one more time, but for me, the video is basically done. But if you can't tell anyone about themselves through their whole life, that's all they've experienced. And if you dare try to say something, you call them gay. You say they hate themselves, they hate their mother, they hate their sister, they're racist. When you yell that out all day, every day, the person that is being defended is going to obviously use that as a form of protection and a way to deflect. But you quell any kind of criticism. But now you want her all of a sudden to say, no, this time you need to accept the criticism. It makes no sense. So yeah, this O'Shea Jackson dude, like, obviously, so just unaware of why this is the case. And I'm telling you, I haven't seen a bunch of dudes clips, but I can just tell from the little bit that I've seen, he does do this as well. Okay, but let me know what your thoughts on the comments below. I'm out.